So there are 5 games to go in the Premier League and Forest need a win to get themselves back into third. Welcome to the preview for Forest versus Brentford. Good morning, good evening, or good night. Hope you guys are doing well. Welcome to the preview as Forest take on that bus stop in Chelsea, Brentford. If you're enjoying the content, please don't forget to hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed if you are new as well. And make sure you check out this beautiful signed framed Forest squad shirt. Signed by the squad. Looks absolutely beautiful. It's better than the one I've got, which is still beautiful in itself. You can pick it up for 99p a ticket. So get yourself in for the prize draw, scan this QR code or click on the link that's pinned in the comments. There's also a crap load of Insta prizes. So if your ticket number matches one of those Insta prizes, congratulations, you are a winner. Right, go check that out and let's jump into this preview. So Nuno's already done his presser. He's talked and been asked about injuries. Obviously, the key one that's on everyone's lips is Ola Aina and what's going on with him. Now, again, it's worth refreshing your memories that Ola Aina's now been out for about 4 weeks. And the injury was a tier 2 or whatever it's called, grade 2. That's the word I'm looking for, on his calf. Now, as we told you many weeks ago, this was expected to be a 6-week injury. The actual bracket for recovery on this is between 4 and 6 weeks. We know that Forest were trying to get him fit for the FA Cup semi-final match with injections and everything. So it is more than likely that he should be or has been saved from the FA Cup match for this Brentford game. I think if you look at it like objectively, here's what's happened in my opinion. I think that Forest thought they were in a stronger position in the league than we currently find ourselves in at the time of his injury. And when it came to making that decision about should we rush him back for the FA Cup, have we locked in Champions League yet? At that time, it was probably thought we're okay in the league. Problem is, results happened in it and we are where we are now, and I think the priorities changed over the last week or so, and it wasn't worth risking him to then have him miss out for the next 5 matches, and these are big 5 matches. So do I think he will start? I don't know is the honest answer. I don't know. I know that this is the time period where they were hoping for him to have back somewhere, from the Man City game to this Brentford game. So I hope he starts. And I'm going to work on the assumption that he does. But the good news is Nico Williams will be back and available, as will Ryan Yates as well. I expect them both to take part in this game. In terms of other injuries, Nuno did his classic, we're assessing. So you can't really gauge too much from him. And what I will say is at this stage of the season, he may as well play that poker face. There's no point in giving any advantage, even be it a 0.1% advantage to your oppositions, because every little bits that you can get counts. Now, in terms of Brentford, they are still kind of fighting for the European spots, the lower end ones, maybe a Conference League spot. They are currently sitting, where are they? 11th in the league on 46 points. Now, if things go as they currently are, you would expect there to be 8 positions in the league for Europe, unless Crystal Palace, which hopefully they will, beat Man City. If that happens, then 7 will qualify from the league. That's not including the likes of Manchester United, Man City, and Arsenal. By the way, Arsenal. PSG ain't easy. So are they still in the race? Technically, they are. They're 5 points off of 8th place, but they are way short of 7th place in Aston Villa. So there is a little bit to play for them, is what I'm trying to tell you. They're not quite on the beach. If they lose to Forest tomorrow, then they're done and dusted. But I don't think that matters. Whether or not they're on the beach or they're playing for something, this is about what we do. We have to approach this game in the right mentality. I don't want to see this over respect that we gave Man City twice this season, one in the Cup and one at the Etihad. I want Forest to finally stand there and say, we are Forest, we are where we are in the league, we've had the season we've had in the league, now you respect us and you fear us. Whether or not that will happen is a whole other story. Oh, by the way, we've got a Grumpy Old Reds tonight at 8:30, so make sure you tune in for that as well, where the guys will give a full breakdown of their thoughts. So can Forest win this one? Of course they can. Is it essential that we do? Well, technically a point would put us back into the top 5, level on games with everyone else. But if Forest want to alleviate some of this so-called pressure that's building up, then a win knocks us back into 3rd place. I think for me, this game is a must not lose game. That's subjective one. But I also say it is a must win game. But just don't lose. Don't lose is the key thing here, because we still got West Ham, we still got the likes of Leicester. You would argue that 6 points on paper. With this point, if say we drew with Brentford, you're looking at 67 points. That's very, very close to the finish line. It's all going to come down for me to the game week that's coming up where we play Leicester, and you'll see Chelsea and Newcastle locking horns. Now, Chelsea still have to get through Liverpool before that. Newcastle have still got Chelsea and Arsenal, I believe, to play. So this one isn't quite done yet, but 66, 67 points, something like that should be enough, because no team surely, apart from maybe Man City, is going to W it all the way to the end. But anyway, so that's the backdrop to the game. Let's go and have a look at the team sheet and talk about selection. All right, so this was the team that started against Manchester City. Obviously, there's going to be a few wholesale changes here. The easy one really is Zach Abbott is going to come out. Now, there's 2 ways this can go. And by the way, he's coming out just because obviously he's a youth player and still not experienced enough. Now, either Ola Aina is going to come into that position and Nico Williams goes in at left back. That's the obvious one if Aina is fit enough to start. If that's the case, I feel comfortable with that, because even Nuno said something, and to be fair to Ant, he's been saying it for a while. Just taking one person out of a back 4 that's been consistent this year, playing together, those patterns of play, the chemistry, the understanding and what have you, can get lost. So Aina, if is fit enough to play, has to start for me. So I'm going to work on that assumption. If Aina doesn't play, you're going to see Nico Williams on the right, maybe Tuffalo or Moreno on the left-hand side. Now, maybe this will sound unpopular and harsh, but he has to come out. Danilo, for me, cannot and should not start this game. It's not for him. He's just not shown enough form. We've got to be cutthroat right now. If you're not playing well enough, you got to come out and someone else has to step up. As Cooper used to say, next man up and all that. He has to come out. The debate now is, do you go midfield 3 in this Christmas tree formation, or do you go back to 4-2-3-1? What I'll say is, if he's going to start one of Hudson-Odoi and Elanga, I don't agree with it. You either start both of them or don't bother starting either of them. But if you start both of them, you have to go the 4-2-3-1. So Elanga out on the right, Hudson-Odoi on the left, Gibbs-White in the middle, and then Anderson. And I think probably Yates comes in for Dominguez, if I had to guess. I just think Yates is fresher of those 6s that we have. With him being suspended last weekend, I think he's fresh and probably not a bad game for him, to be honest. He can bring some energy and the old passion stuff and what have you. So I think that's probably going to be the team. I think Nuno's taken a lot of criticism this week from mainstream media about not starting Elanga, and had you started Elanga, you would have won the game. I don't actually think it would have made that much of a difference. I think it was the tactical mentality that wasn't right. But to me, that's probably the team that you'll see start. It makes sense, it's logical. It's for me just about what happens with Aina. If he's fit enough, he goes in. If not, Nico Williams right, Tuffalo or Moreno on the left. Now, if he sticks to this midfield 3, which by the way, I'm not against, it's just how he lays it out is my issue. Because I don't think Yates and Anderson are strong enough to hold a midfield 2 that can transition into attack that isn't long ball football. But let's just ignore that for a second. If he's going to the midfield 3, and again, this would be my preferred option. It's not a massive change. I'm just saying drop Morgan Gibbs-White into the 8, but don't play these 2 as double 10s. Play them as wingers and give yourself the width. Because Brentford can be dangerous. Brentford will probably play with a back 3. So your best bet is to get in behind the wing backs and create the space and the chances from there. So I would drop Morgan Gibbs-White into the 3 to outman the midfield. I mean, in essence, even if it's a 4-2-3-1, he's probably going to drop in there when we're defending, etc. But I don't think I got this personnel wrong. To me, this looks like is the way it's going to go, apart from what happens with Einar. So do you agree with this team or not? Let me know. I think there's a shout for Sangare to get some minutes here if he doesn't fancy Yates. But Danilo cannot and should not start this game for me. Do you agree or not? Get your thoughts in the comments. So how do I see this game playing out? Honestly, it stinks of a draw to me. And a draw, as I said at the start of the video, isn't the worst result in the world. I think a draw keeps us alive, but still has elements of pressure. The problem we've got right now is that we're playing last in every single game week. This week, with the last ones to go, we're on 33 games while everyone else around us is on 34. It's the same issue when we face Crystal Palace on Monday. Everyone else would have played before us. Now, it has its advantages and disadvantages. The disadvantages are that if everyone wins, we have to then win to get back on pace. But if some lose, we can then win and create that buffer and that gap. It just depends which way the results go. I personally prefer get your win out the way first and apply the pressure to the rest of those around us. But it is what it is, man. Even Sky are trying to screw us over right now. So how do I see this one out? I think it's a draw. But I also see a scenario where Forest will need to bounce back from what happened in the FA Cup and can cause some pressure on Brentford, especially if we go a goal up. If we go a goal up in this game, Brentford will struggle to get back into it, in my opinion. I don't know if they've got the heart and the fight to go to war and to battle midweek under the lights at the City ground. So we got to go for the win. But my prediction is a 1-1 draw. I hope I'm wrong. Because 3 points would be crucial. If we beat either Brentford or Palace, and let me put it this way, if we can get 4 points out of Brentford and Palace, we're pretty much home and dry because of the Leicester and the West Ham game. It should be enough. But what do you guys think? Does this go down to the wire? Will it be a shootout between Forest and Chelsea on the final day of the season? Who knows? Get your thoughts in down below. So we'll be back at 8:30 tonight for Grumpy Old Reds. If you haven't already, please make sure you've hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed as well if you are new. I'll see you on the next video tonight. Come on, you Reds.